Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, shoutouts to everybody who pointed out I used the wrong thumbnail in yesterday's video. I accidentally re-uploaded the previous one and didn't double check before I posted. That issue has been fixed, we've got the right thumbnail up there and we should be good to go here. Anyways, I'm still a little bit under the weather, I'm on the mend now, and we've got a lot of news to talk about today. So the first thing on the docket here is a pretty big piece of news. It's about Sony purchasing Kadokawa. Now earlier on we talked about Sony's interest in purchasing Kadokawa, confirmed by Kadokawa. Now it was reported that Kadokawa wanted an all or nothing deal. And it turns out that all or nothing is not necessarily all or nothing, it's just a very big piece. So anyways, there's a brand new press release here from Sony. So in this press release, on January 7th, 2025, Sony will be acquiring 12,054,100 new Kadokawa shares for approximately 50 billion yen. And that translates to about 318 million USD, give or take. And this is about 10% of Kadokawa shares overall. So Sony is buying 10% of Kadokawa. As a quick refresher, Kadokawa owns From Software, which is the studio behind big games like Demon's Souls and Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Elden Ring. And they say here the two companies plan to discuss specific initiatives for collaboration, such as initiatives to adapt Kadokawa's IPs into live-action films and TV dramas globally, co-produce anime works, expand global distribution of Kadokawa's anime works through Sony Group, further expand publishing of Kadokawa's games, and develop human resources to promote and expand virtual production. So this isn't solely about games. I am very curious to see what happens moving forward here. I'm wondering if this is the first step in a series of steps of Sony taking over Kadokawa. Will they increase their shareholder position as time goes on, or is this it? I'm curious to see what this collaboration and partnership is going to bring across the board. And I'm very curious if Sony is doing this to try to nail down more exclusives. Where Xbox is making things not exclusive, Sony seems to be going the opposite route. Now, if you wanted to check out the full press release, like everything I talk about, link is in the description below right at the bottom. And let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. What do you think is going to happen now with Sony purchasing a larger stake in Kadokawa? Do you think this is good that Sony didn't purchase the whole thing? Do you think it's bad? I am very curious. But moving on, and next up we're talking about Nintendo Virtual Boy emulation on the 3DS with Red Viper, and Red Viper just got a brand new update. As time goes on, it seems more and more people are modifying their Nintendo 3DS, and Red Viper does require a modded 3DS in order to work. At the time of filming here, version 0.9.7 is the latest update, and there's some very interesting updates here. So on top of bug fixes and emulation improvements, they've added an anaglyph mode with configurable colors for each eye. And for 2DS users, they can configure a depth offset in anaglyph mode as they have no depth slider. And they've also added in render time emulation, including a toggle to turn it off. Next up, we're talking about one of my favorite King of Fighters games, and that's King of Fighters 13. SNK has just unveiled the King of Fighters 13 global match for Steam. They say here, relive the pinnacle of 2D sprite-based fighting, enhanced for online play, complete with rollback netcode and overhauled online functionality. And it will be releasing on February 20th. Unfortunately, I don't know the price of this game just yet, but it is available to be wishlisted. And there are a couple of things worth pointing out here. If you already own the King of Fighters 13 Steam Edition, which I'm assuming if you're a fan of the game, you probably do. I mean, I own it. You can pick up the global match version for $6.99, so it's not a huge price for an upgrade here. And they say here Steam accounts that have already purchased King of Fighters 13 Steam Edition will be able to purchase King of Fighters 13 Global Match on Steam for $6.99. The currently available King of Fighters 13 Steam Edition will be removed from the Steam store at 6:59 a.m. PST on January 23rd. So unfortunately, there's only going to be one version of this game on Steam moving forward. Now, the King of Fighters 13 Steam Edition was released a while back, about 11 years ago, or just over 11 years ago, back in 2013. Over on Steam, it's got a very positive review score with almost 8,000 reviews. Now, I'm a big fan of this game, and Proton Experimental, and I think the mainline version of Proton was just updated to make this game work on the Steam Deck. Anyways, here, unfortunately, I don't know the cheapest route to pick up the global match version of the game. I don't know if it's going to be cheaper just to pick up this version and then pay this $7 to upgrade it to the global match version, or just to hold off and pick up the global match version once it releases. We'll have to wait and see here, but at the same time, maybe keep your eye open on this game just to see if there's going to be a sale during the winter sale for Steam. And on a quick side note here, if you're a fan of King of Fighters, if you're a collector, and if you've got a PS4 or a Switch, this may be of interest. So Pix and Love Games says, to celebrate King of Fighters' 30th anniversary, Pix and Love and SNK are offering you a selection of 4 iconic games on the PS4 or the Switch, and an official Neo Geo snapcase with exclusive cover art. Each game is numbered to 330 copies. I don't like the exclusivity there. Anyways, there's 4 games in total here: King of Fighters 98, 2002, King of Fighters 13, or King of Fighters 14. Now for reference here, I don't really have experience with Pix and Love Games, but I do have experience with these modern snapcases for Neo Geo. I mean, back when I would say Limited Run was good, I've got Mark of the Wolves and I've also got King of Fighters 98. And my experience on these has been pretty good. I picked up PS4 versions here. Inside was, well, we've got the game, we've got a poster, and underneath the game, there is also a little tiny Neo Geo cart, which is non-functional. It's just a piece of plastic there, but it's a cool decoration, I guess. I'm not trying to make money off these, and I don't think you should purchase these thinking you're going to make money off of them. They're more or less just a novelty here if you're a collector and maybe wanted a physical version of these games for PS4 or Switch. Unfortunately, since the pre-orders aren't live at the time of filming, I don't know the price of this stuff yet, and I don't know what each package entails. I don't know if it's going to be comparable to what I previously picked up with Limited Run, or if it's going to be better. Taking a look here at Metal Slug Tactics on Pix and Love, and the package looks better. So I am very curious about this one. On top of that, I think it's also worth pointing out that the King of Fighters 13 global match is the only one that's going to be available for Switch. The rest are PS4. But moving on, and next up is a quick heads up about the Game Awards. It appears the latest version of the Game Awards was the best one yet. So Jeff Keighley says, today we are humbled and thrilled to share that the Game Awards 10th anniversary show delivered a historic 154 million global live streams, our most watched show ever. Thanks to our incredible team, the industry, and the fans for giving us your time and believing in the Game Awards. I'll be real with you here. I've been highly critical of the Game Awards in the past, and even this year, I was not a fan of the ability for DLCs to be eligible for all of the categories, including Game of the Year. Anyways, this year I was very surprised at some of the awards, and I really tune into it for the reveals and the announcements. I'm a big fan of that stuff, and I think that's more exciting than the awards themselves. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about this year's Game Awards in the comments below, and if you think it was deserving of being the best one ever. Next up, we're talking about a pretty big win for game preservation, and that's Star Wars Battlefront 3 for the Nintendo Wii. Now, this game was canceled back in 2008. It never saw the light of day. However, a copy of this game has been discovered that was dated 1 week prior to the game's cancellation, which may be the latest and greatest and most up-to-date version of this game that will ever be discovered. If you are curious about this one, I do recommend checking out the video. The footage itself is very interesting. On top of that, the description of this video contains some very interesting links. So again, like everything I talk about, link is in the description below right at the bottom. There is a disclaimer in the video as well. They say, as this game was canceled during development, there are still bugs and issues which we hope can be resolved through future modding. I am very curious to see where it goes from here and if people end up modding this game. Next up, we're quickly talking about some free games. Now, a lot of people are aware that Epic gives away games quite a bit. I've got a pretty big library of games from Epic, and I haven't paid a single dime. Anyways, the next game they're giving away is rumored to be Vampire Survivors. I think a lot of people will be excited about this one, and it may be a great opportunity to pick up the game if you haven't already. The game itself isn't very expensive, though. Anyways, here we'll have to wait and see. Chances are by the time this video is posted, the next mystery game will be revealed, and maybe it'll be Vampire Survivors, maybe it won't be. Next up, we're talking about LaunchBox, which is an emulation front end. LaunchBox is not an emulator in itself. It's a front end designed to work with emulators and ROMs to organize everything in one place and to make things beautiful. Anyways, here LaunchBox on Windows just got a brand new update to version 1.3.18. So in this update, they've got a bunch of fixes, improvements, and a nice new quality of life feature. Users can now manually import ROM files for multiple platforms at the same time. On top of that, they've optimized the startup process for slightly faster load times. There's some GOG import wizard improvements. It'll now only show games you have yet to import, and it's better optimized to show all installed games on your hard drive. And on top of that, they say you can now set the auto import platform per storefront. Next up is a very interesting situation that may turn out good or may turn out bad depending on your view of things. But it turns out that a Nintendo DS prototype for an unreleased LEGO video game titled LEGO Castle is available for purchase on eBay for a whopping $950. Taking a look on eBay, and the game is still up for purchase, listed at $950 or best offer. There's 26 people currently watching this in the last 24 hours, and it appears this may be the real deal. Now, I don't know if someone's going to buy this and then dump the game for everybody just to preserve it, or if someone's going to buy it and hold on to it and try to make more money on it later. I would assume it could go either way here, so it depends on the person buying this game and what they want to do. Do they want to preserve it and give the community access to it, or do they want to hold on to it and try to make a profit? Unfortunately, I don't have more details about the game for you. The description on this one is pretty light, and well, I don't know how this one came to be. I don't know its overall legitimacy. But based on the photos within the Nintendo DS, it does appear to be the real deal, but I could be wrong. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And last up here is a heads up if you're currently using Windows and we're thinking about updating to Windows 11 24H2. It seems that Microsoft has confirmed that the issue is breaking games, and they have paused updates for even more PCs. So Microsoft says Auto HDR might cause games to stop responding or display incorrect colors. And if you've already got this update, the option to mitigate this is to turn off Auto HDR. That's what they're suggesting. Now, it seems that this is not the only issue that's happening with this version of Windows, but at the same time here, if you've got this version of Windows, you may want to check out this thread just to see exactly what's happening and if you've got issues and how to fix them. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. I'll be sure to put the right thumbnail on this video and not screw up like I did in the last one. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below, and I do read comments. If we like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.